Hi, it's Lisa. I'm here with a holiday card. I'm going to create this card today. It's nice and simple. Doesn't take a lot of supplies for a stamped card. It's also very flat, so it doesn't take a lot of postage, because that was one of my objectives this year when I made my Christmas cards, was to keep them to a one stamp only card. I think you can still make lots of pretty cards and not have to have gobs of postage if you have a lot of cards to mail. I'm going to be using Stampin' Up's Lovely as a Tree set. This stamp has been around for years and years and years. It was the first stamp set that I ever bought with Stampin' Up. Probably, it's not quite been 10 years ago, but it's been many years ago. And I think it is still available. There are other stamps you could use. Raisin Boat has a set called Merry Nature that has a tree real similar to this. So you just really need a single tree image for this. You do need some archival or stays on permanent green ink. It must be permanent. Something for your greeting stamp, and something that will give you good color for the greeting. And this blue color is an optional color. 2 pieces of cardstock, some blue for the background, and whatever you want to use for the card base. It could be green or the same color as your greeting. And you also need some 3D fabric paint in white to do your snow. So what we're going to do is start with the blue cardstock that I have cut to 5 1/4 by 4 inches, so it'll be just a little bit smaller than the card front. I'm using my green archival ink, and I'm going to ink up my stamp really, really well. I think I'm going to go ahead and use my foam pad under my paper just to make sure that it gives a good impression. You don't have to do that, but I got this from Stampin' Up. Right, and over towards the left-hand side of my blue paper, give a good impression. And then I'm going to shadow stamp just by stamping off behind the tree. And I want to do some other shadows, but I need a little bit more ink here. So I'm going to ink and stamp off on some scratch paper, and then I'll still have a few images. And I want the rest of them to be pretty light, because this is where the greeting is going to go. So that's what we have so far. And I did a card similar to this some time ago. It's been a really popular card that's sort of the tree and the mist kind of look. We're going to do something like that today, except we're going to add some snow to it. Now I want to go ahead and do my greeting. I'm using Colorbox Fluid Chalk ink because it gives a really good dark impression. It doesn't matter whether this is not a permanent ink, and it does not matter here whether your ink is permanent or not, just the green has to be permanent. Okay, happy holidays. Say Merry Christmas, anything you want. And then this step is optional. I'm taking some blue ink from Stampin' Up. That happens to be a discontinued color. It's a little bit darker blue. You could use Pacific Point or whatever you wanted. My background paper here is Bashful Blue, which is also discontinued, but you could use blue-green tones for this background. It doesn't have to be really blue, but all I'm trying to do here is just add a little bit darker color to the very top, and it sort of edges the top. And I'm not going to edge the bottom, but I'm just going to edge the top and the sides. And then this trick I learned from the ladies at Raisin Boat, and again, they have a stamp set. You could use the Merry Nature set. They do a lot of things with white to create snow on their Christmas cards. They have a particular product that you can use. I could not find that product in the craft stores, but the 3D fabric paint works just as well. And all you're doing is just squeezing out a little bit of this and adding a little bit of snow. And you want to kind of do this lightly on the branches of your tree. Now the reason you are doing permanent green ink is so that the ink will not blend into the snow. Because if you don't do permanent green ink, this is what happens. You get green snow. So I forgot. It's been since last Christmas since I did these kinds of things, and I stamped my tree in some regular, I think it was Old Olive ink from Stampin' Up, and I put my snow on there, and and as it started drying, I realized something is not right, and it was coming out green. So You do have to use permanent ink. I prefer Ranger's archival ink, but you could use StazOn. I just find that the archival ink, I get a better impression with it than StazOn. I have several colors of StazOn. Okay, so we're just adding a little snow there. We're also going to add some snow along the bottom. When you use this particular stamp, you get this ground that displays here, and so it doesn't look like, you know, all these separate trees here. We're just going to add a little snow around the ground too and kind of bring all this together. So I'm just sort of lightly squeezing this out and creating a little bit of snow along the ground. And that will kind of bring all the trees together into one scene. And then once that dries, and it will take a little while to dry, once that dries, then I'll go ahead and attach it to my card base, which is Old Olive, but you know, whatever card base that you want to use, and an inside greeting, and your card is all finished. So these are some quick cards. You can do them as batch processing, do all your, you know, this stamping and all of your greeting stamping, and then all of your white, and let your white dry while maybe you're doing some other cards, and then just assemble them, and it goes really fast. So thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you'll check out my channel for other videos, particularly scrapbooking videos. I do a lot of process videos every week, and I have a few card videos and some other paper crafts as well. Thanks so much. Bye.